Conservative New Media viewers, NBA fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFV Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here for our predictions about what is going to happen in the 2015-2016 NBA regular season and what's going to happen in the 2016 playoffs and one particular award, the MVP award. Now, I'm not going to discuss Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, or Comeback Player of the Year because just don't want to deal with that in this time. Rookie of the Year, I don't watch college basketball. I only watch NBA basketball, so I'm not going to know these guys until they play, although I have heard good things about Okafor. Coach of the Year, could make a couple guesses there. I don't know if anybody's really particularly thrilled about that or super interested in that. Most Improved Player, Comeback Player, meh. So let's get to the good stuff, and those are these three things. NBA Conference Finalist, NBA Champion, and 2016 NBA MVP. And I will put in the video description below the video player information to about timestamps. So if you only want to listen to one part of this video rather than the three main parts of it, then you can just go down, click on the See More below the video player. That will show you the video description, and then you will have time numbers like 0350. That's a blue link, and if you click on those numbers, those will take you to the corresponding part of the video that you want to watch so that you only watch that video and nothing else if you're not interested in the other parts. So let's get right to it. The 2016 NBA Conference Finalists, in my opinion. Let's start with the East. I think it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Chicago Bulls. Cleveland is mega stacked. They are incredibly deep team. They have a tremendous amount of shooters. They've got LeBron James, and they're coming off of the finals defeat last year. That means they're hurting. They're licking their wounds. David Blatt should only improve in his second year as an NBA head coach, and I really, really like the Cavaliers this year. Of course, they are beginning the season without the services of their starting backcourt, which is Kyrie Irving, the point guard, and Iman Shumpert, the shooting guard. That's going to hurt them. It could take the record down a little bit, particularly with a team as good and as deep as the Chicago Bulls are, maybe fighting them tooth and nail for the best record in the Eastern Conference. I do think Cleveland's going to make it. And now let's turn to Chicago. Chicago themselves are extremely deep. I like the move of supposedly or apparently putting in Nikola Mirotic into the starting lineup and replacing Joakim Noah in the starting lineup. Noah is not the same player that he was a couple of years ago because of the injuries, but he's still very effective. However, I don't even know if this is as much about Noah as it is about Mirotic. Mirotic really can score the ball, really can shoot the ball, and having him in the starting lineup stretches the defense out and gives you more spacing for players like Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler to get to the basket. I like it tremendously. When Mike Dunleavy comes back from injury, you're going to get even more spacing than in the first unit. And I've heard very good things about new coach Fred Hoiberg. I haven't watched the Bulls extensively in the preseason. I've seen them maybe 2 games. They look good. They're still, again, they're not at full health right now, but they are exceptionally deep. I like Bobby Portis, the rookie that they picked up. He looks really good. So when I first started thinking about the Eastern Conference, I thought that maybe Miami was going to sneak into the conference finals, but Miami doesn't have enough shooting. They need more shooting to help out with their spacing on the floor. So at this point in time, I am favoring the Chicago Bulls over the Miami Heat to make the conference finals. And then let's just take it right from there. Who is going to win the East, I believe? This isn't a real big shock or surprise. I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to make it out of the East and will represent the East in the 2016 finals. Now let's go over to the West. The West is, as you might expect, a little more interesting, a little more challenging. There are 5 teams, in my opinion, that have a legitimate chance to make it to the 2016 Western Conference Finals. And they are the Oklahoma City Thunder, the San Antonio Spurs, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Golden State Warriors, and the Houston Rockets. Now, I'm not saying no other team could possibly make it, but those 5 teams today, on paper, look like the betting favorites, and they look the most stacked. My choice for the 2016 Western Conference Final is the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, against the San Antonio Spurs. Now, let's go over why I don't feel that the other 3 teams I just mentioned are going to make it. The Houston Rockets, they're very good. They made the Western Conference Finals last year. They should be only better this year with the addition of Ty Lawson. They've got more experience. James Harden is maturing more, and so forth. I'm not real high on their coaching, and I'm not real high on their basketball IQ. Look, they were great last year when they came back on the Clippers and buried them and made it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think that's going to happen again, and I don't think it's going to happen against well-coached, maybe higher B-ball IQ teams like the Warriors and like the Spurs. So that's just my own opinion. Would I be stunned if they made it? No, but I don't think they're going to make it if all these teams are relatively healthy. Los Angeles Clippers, a similar thing. Look, the Clippers completely folded up against the Rockets in the 2015 playoffs. They should have won that series. They blew it. They fell apart. They are a better team this year. There's no question about it. They added Wesley Johnson, Paul Pierce, Josh Smith, Lance Stevenson, Luke Mute. They're better. They're more talented. I think Doc Rivers is a good coach. I have to see it to believe it. I still think that I don't know if that group collectively has kind of the intangibles that they need to make it to the Western Conference Finals. They went a long way towards dispelling some of those doubts, or doubters like myself, when they beat the Spurs in the first round in 2015, though. So it certainly is not impossible, but some of it is just they might be coming up against better teams than what they are, even if they had perfect basketball IQ and they had the greatest intangibles in the universe. So let's come down to the final entrant that's not included here. And this is the one that I'm shakiest about. This is the team that I think most has the chance to break into the conference finals, and that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So in other words, if San Antonio or Golden State, one of those two doesn't make the Western Conference Finals, then my guess is that they will be replaced by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant is back. Russell Westbrook had an incredible season last year. They re-signed Cantor. They've got a tremendous amount of talent on this team. However, I'm not thrilled with their second unit. Not thrilled with their depth. They are deep, but Enes Kanter's defense, Dion Waiters' decision-making and shot attempts, they could do it. They could do it. One other thing I will say about the Thunder that I'm not really that big on is they're a bit of a bigger and bulkier team. Steven Adams, Mitch McGary, Enes Kanter, these are bigger, bulkier teams that players that play closer to the basket. Now, I know Enes Kanter can shoot from 15, 17 feet, and that does help the spacing. Still, When you're going against teams like the Warriors, who can put Draymond Green at center and play, and Draymond Green can shoot three-pointers and play run and gun, I don't know if the Thunder can match that firepower. I know they can put Ibaka at center, and they can have KD play the power forward and so on, but I don't know if they can do that as well as a team like the Warriors can do it. Okay? So I would not be surprised if the Oklahoma City made the conference finals or even made the finals. But today here I'm predicting that they will not make it, and that instead it will be the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors. Now let's talk about those two teams. The Golden State Warriors. They're the champs. They have almost the exact same roster as last year, except they added Ian Clark and Jason Thompson, which probably only makes them better. They know they can win. They know what they have to do to win. People have been talking about them all off season about they were lucky and they avoided this team and they avoided that team. Well, they did what they had to do. They're basically a young team. They're confident. They're only getting better. We don't know when Steve Kerr is going to be returning from the back issues that he's had, but hopefully he'll be returning at some point during the season. They know what they want to do. They're great at executing what they want. They're basically the model in terms of how teams want to play right now in the NBA, in terms of the pace and space, three-pointers, quick shots model. Everybody's chasing them. That's basically what's going on right now. The San Antonio Spurs, of course, they added LaMarcus Aldridge and David West. They also added 4 new components to their third unit: Ray McCallum, Simmons, Rasul Butler, and Boban Marjanovic. They're not as sleek as they used to be in the past. Okay, they're not as run and gun and as they've been the last few years. They're a little bigger and bulkier themselves now, much like Oklahoma City is. I still like this team, even though, and I agree with Zach Lowe about this, I don't know if they're going to be great in the regular season. It could take them the entire year to figure out how to play with this team. And it could take the third unit, which is, again, 4 of 5 players are new in that unit. Could take them the whole season to figure out what they can do and to be able to do it well, because they're going to need those guys when Tony Parker and Manu and Tim Duncan rest. These guys are going to play minutes, and they're going to play meaningful minutes, and they need to show that they're capable of doing that. So I don't know where this team's going to finish. However, this team is better than last year's team. And last year's team, I think, if they would have won their final game when they went on that incredible run down the stretch of the regular season, they would have had better seeding in the playoffs. I think there's a good chance they would have made the Western Conference Finals or Finals last year. And this team is better than that team. And now with the new seeding for the playoffs, San Antonio might have had, even if the same record, they still probably would have had better seeding over Portland last year. So that team was very close to having a real shot at repeating, in my opinion, and this team's better than that. What they have to figure out how to do is how to work with the limited spacing that 3 of their 4 main big men provides. Duncan, LaMarcus Aldridge, David West are not three-point shooters. LaMarcus Aldridge is, I believe, starting to work on that, but that's not what he does. He's more of a mid-range 17 to 20-foot jump shooter, and he's great at that. Popovich is going to have to work on this. I really like what I've seen out of Boban Marjanovic in the preseason. He's one of these guys that is so big. He's 7'3", legitimately, and about 295 pounds, where he can come in for 5 or 10 minutes and make a difference. But he doesn't know the NBA game, and it's going to take him a while to figure it out. However, I do think by the end of this year, the end of the regular season, I think that if this team is healthy, which is a real concern given that they are aging, I do think they're going to be there again. I think they're motivated. LaMarcus Aldridge is motivated to prove that he's a winner. David West, he gave up all the money so he could come and play with this organization. They're a proud organization. They're the flagship organization of the league in the last 30 years or 20 years or whatever it is. They know how to get it done. So all the intangibles that I'm not sure about with the Clippers and the Rockets, the Spurs have all of those intangibles. Kawhi Leonard wasn't perfect or at his best in the playoffs last year. He's going to want to step it up. So I think when it comes down to it, they're going to be there. And they're going to challenge the Golden State Warriors for the right to go to the NBA Finals. And I think that the NBA Finals this upcoming season, 2016 NBA Finals, is going to come down to the San Antonio Spurs against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's going to be a shootout, if that's what it is. Either team could win in that situation. However, I think Cleveland has the superior roster. I don't know if they're more motivated than the Spurs, because the Spurs are always motivated. I know LeBron's motivated because he's now 2-4 in NBA Finals, and he doesn't want to lose any more finals. So I am going to predict 2016 NBA champion will be the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they will win over the San Antonio Spurs. Finally, we can't forget this. Let's talk about who I believe is going to win the 2016 NBA Most Valuable Player. I believe that winner will be LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, in order to win that award, Cleveland's going to have to win a bunch of regular season games, more than they won last year, and could be 60 plus that they're going to need for him to get that award. He could be in contention. He's going to probably be in contention with Steph Curry, who won it last year, James Harden of the Rockets, Kevin Durant of the Thunder, maybe even Russell Westbrook as well of the Thunder, Anthony Davis of the Pelicans. There's a bunch of talented individual players in this league right now. I think Cleveland, they were 19-20 through 39 games last year. That's not going to win you any MVPs. They're much better, in much better shape at the start of this year, even with Shumpert and Irving being out. I think most of the teams in the Eastern Conference just can't compete with Cleveland's roster, even now with those two players being out. So I don't know if Cleveland will get the best record in the Eastern Conference. I think they will, but because of the players being hurt, it's possible that they won't. Still, I think they will win enough games, and LeBron will do enough to be able to edge out and win his 5th MVP award of his exceptional career. Okay, that is it. I've said everything that I'm going to predict. What do you think? You tell us in the comments below. Who do you think is going to be the 2016 NBA champion? Who do you think is going to the 2016 NBA Conference Finals? What 4 teams are going to make it to that stage, in your opinion? And finally, who do you think is going to be the NBA MVP of the 2015-16 season? Is Anthony Davis going to break through? Can the Pelicans win enough games for Davis to be a serious candidate? Or is it Kevin Durant's turn again? Or will Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant kind of cancel themselves out because they're both such outstanding players? Is James Harden going to get the award that he thought he deserved last year? Is Steph Curry going to repeat as the MVP? Is it going to be somebody else? Is there a dark horse candidate out there that we're leaving out that should be given consideration themselves? I want to hear from you. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We are very much looking forward to this 2015-2016 NBA season. It's finally here. I mean, for those of us that love basketball and love NBA basketball, have been waiting for months. It's finally back. So thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below, as we said earlier. We encourage you to join the Conservative New Media Facebook group. We also encourage you to follow us on Twitter. You'll find information for both of those things in the video description below the video player. Once again, I am PFV Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We will be talking with you many times during this season. If you're a Jeremy Lin fan, you know all about this channel already. And if you're just an NBA fan, without being a fan of a specific player, well, you probably know about us. And if you don't, then welcome to the channel. And we'll be communicating about the NBA numerous times this season in videos to come. Take care. We will talk to you again soon.